very well on time. So I thank you all. Big clap to all of you. Our timing is good. We've gone back now and we're on track. So I'll take this opportunity to recognize the Hindu Council of Kenya. Thank you very much for coming and representing us. Again, we have a super network of people, network. 10 people, everybody meets 10 people. I'm still repeating that. And that way we will become even a bigger and a stronger family. I'm also going to recognize Madi TV Kenya, also in the house. Thank you very much for being here. So we move on to the next presenter and we invite Dr. Samira Nasibzadeh. And she's going to explain to us the concept of a family, the role of a woman in the family, and also in the Iranian women achievements. So I'm looking forward to hear that. Welcome. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. Congratulations for the Eid for those who are celebrating. And may I take this opportunity to request my dear brothers to give a round of applause to all women in this room and your wife and your mothers at the back of the and the ladies. In recognition of your beautiful existence in this world, please give yourself a warm round of applause, please. Today I'm going to talk about the women's rights in Islam and the role of Iranian women in family and society. It's fine. My voice is... Can you speak? Okay. Thank you. Where is my slides, please? Thank you so much. Thanks to the previous speakers that made my life easier today. And let's see. Okay, thank you so much. Go to the title, please. Let me give you an overview. Next, please. Next slide, please, brother. And the next. Let me give you an overview on what I'm going to tell today. I want to talk about the misconceptions. Are women as inferior gender? A good question. And what Quran says in this case. And let's go to the 19th century's movements and contemporary world and its relation to the contemporary world debates, let's say. And we are going to talk about Islam and human rights, not deeply because you have done previously, and about the role models to women today. And the significant role of women in Iran, and then we'll have a conclusion. So, let me commence, next slide please. Let me commence by the misconception. A harmful belief falsely attributed the cause of sin and evil to women. This misconception, often extended by forgers, asserts that women are responsible for men's transgressions. Let's ask the answer from the Holy Quran. The Holy Quran explicitly establishes the equal dignity and status of Adam and Eve, refuting the notion that women are the root of evil. Please go to the next slide. In terms of equality between men and women, the Quran does not say that Eve was made from Adam. God breathed the soul into Adam and created from the same soul Eve. The next point is the other thing that I want to address in this notion that is that Satan deceived both of them, as you can see in the 7th surah, ayah 20 to 22. As you can see, God says in Quran that Satan deceived them, not just Eve. Next slide, please. When a society thinks that women are inferior, the action of those people will be changed based on their beliefs. For instance, misogyny functions an ideology and set of beliefs, in this case, in the male-dominated countries and societies, place women in a subordinated position with limited access to power and decision-making. So, beliefs shape the actions. Let me quote from Imam Ali, who says that, watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. Next slide, please. The sets of beliefs shape the actions. For example, a review of the prominent late 19th century writings reveals that a major plank of early evolution theories was the belief that women are intellectually and physically inferior to men. Since the 19th century, significant cultural and political movements of feminism across the West established against the inferiority of women in the society. As you can see, the movement was against the inferiority of women. We changed societies based on such beliefs. During that time, American and European women protested for their social and constitutional equal rights to white men, including the right to vote, the right to education, the right to own property, and the right to be legally recognized as independent subjects from their husbands rather than their property. Next slide, please. Since the 1960s, in Europe and United States, and under claims of being leftist, the notion of liberated from the family institution all the way to destruction of family has been widely promoted. The most important thing to remember in this context is the Margaret Thatcher's saying. She says, there is no such thing as society. There are individual men, there are individual women. Within the historical development of this trend, transforming the issue of, as my colleague said, homosexuality, abortion, birth control, and other issues moved from their social level into political level, and it became the political issue. The most important field of this experiment in this context is the United States itself. According to recent research, 24 million in the United States live apart from their biological father. It means that 1 out of every 3 kids. Nearly 1 million children are aborted each year in the United States. An American sociologist says, the real stone bearing down our society is not whether we can beat back and stabilize the increasingly unstable family. Next slide, please. Shaking the fundamental institution of family isn't acceptable. Where the ball is going. The family is most authentic, lasting, fundamental, and natural human institution that is under threat today in the contemporary world. The Western system has challenged all concepts due to extreme individualism, and the field of women and family has suffered the most. We are witnessing the new ideas and literature, as Dr. said, that have been produced in the name of family and women, which have gone in worrying directions of erasing the notion of the family, the natural family. and have led women's social responsibility to ambiguity. Fake narratives of marriage and gender are actually an attempt to eliminate the concepts such as motherhood, fatherhood, and family, natural family. Under the name of the human rights, unusual types of family, LGBTQI family, as they say, have been introduced and propagated through media, international organizations, and even educational systems across the world. Approximately 4.5% of adults in the United States, as a case study, identify themselves as LGBTQI, which means that 11.3 million LGBT adults in the United States under the name of the human rights. The West has shaken the concept of natural family. Next slide, please. Let's talk about human rights and Islamic law. Human rights are sometimes portrayed as a Western concept and innovation. This is in fact a misreading of centuries of history, which led up the adoption of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948. While the concept of human rights has deep historical roots that extend far beyond the Western world, Cyrus the Great, the first king of ancient Persia in the contemporary world Iran, conquered the city of Babylon, and known today as the Cyrus cylinder, that you know it. This ancient record has now been recognized as the world's first charter of human rights. It is translated into all 6 official languages of the United Nations, and its provisions parallel the first 4 articles of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Centuries later, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ further advanced the concept of human rights in the Charter of Medina within the Islamic societies. Under Magna Carta, the United States Constitution, and French Declaration of Rights of Man also made contribution to the evolution of the concept of these ideas. Islam not only recognizes absolute equality between men and women, irrespective of any distinction of color, race, or nationality, but makes it an important and significant principle a reality. Based on Holy Quran, we have created from a male and female. We are brothers and sisters all. We are all descendants from one father and one mother. Next slide, please. Let's talk about rights, dignity, and status of women in Islam. The status of women in Islam is an important issue in the contemporary world, in the modern times, especially due to the growing recognition of the nexus between religion and human rights. In Islam, women are most respectable and honorable. If she is a wife, she is life partner. If she is a mother, the paradise is under the feet of the mother. If she is a daughter, it is blessing of Almighty of God, Allah. As the command of Islam to the men is to treat with compassion and full respect to their wives. Next slide, please. Let's go to the hadith from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The best of you are the ones who treat the family the best, and I am the best of you towards my family. The hadith about women. Women are God's trust upon you. Women are God's trust upon you, which is important. Do not hurt them and do not pressure on them. Next slide, please. Women in Islam have a variety of rights, and let's go through it. Equality, that we talked about. Gender equality exemplified through Adam and Eve. The Quran states that both were deliberate and independent, and there is no mention of Eve being created from Adam. Both men and women alike are recipients of the divine breath because they are created from the same spiritual nature, God. The Quran does not blame women for the fall of man, nor does it view pregnancy and childbirth as a punishment for eating from the forbidden tree. Next slide, please. Let's talk about the economic rights of women in Islam. Islam gives women a wide range of rights, some of which were not enjoyed by Western women until the 19th century. For example, until 82, the property of women in England was given to their husband when they married in 19th century. But Muslim women always retained their own assets. The Islamic law recognizes full property rights for the women. In regard to the ownership of property, Islam has given equal respect to the women like men. It is compulsory, wajib, in Islam, for a man to protect family, provide nafaqa, maintenance, and easily pay the dower, mahar, and to bear the expenses of his wife and children. Women are not hindered from pursuing work as long as it doesn't compromise their roles as mothers and wives. Next slide, please. Women's rights in Islam in terms of social rights. Islam does not like laziness, vanity, and worthless people. So, like men, women have various responsibilities towards the family and society, as she is considered one of the important pillars of the society. There is no decree in Islam that forbids women from seeking employment whenever there is necessity for it. And للرجال نصيب مما اكتسبوا وللنساء نصيب مما اكتسبن. It's the order. For example, Hazrat Khadija, the wife of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, is one of the chosen and noble women who was a rich merchant herself, and the Prophet Muhammad was working for her for a while. Next slide, please. In terms of the women's rights about knowledge, in Islam, acquiring knowledge is obligatory for both men and women. Both are equal, regardless of married woman, unmarried woman, and there is ayah in this case in Quran. God will raise up by many degrees those of you who believe and those who have been given knowledge. He is fully aware of what you do. Next slide, please. Let's about the distinguished women in the life of prophets as role models to women in the contemporary world. Alongside the great men such as prophets Ibrahim, Isa, Jesus, Musa, Moses, and Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, there has always been a distinguished woman in their life. An example of this is seen in the life of Prophet Moses, who was brought up by his mother and sister. In the time of Prophet Prophet Isa, there was no man worthy of being his father, yet there was a woman who was capable of nurturing a prophet. And it was because of Lady Miriam, he came into society. That is, only through the rearing of a mother. And Lady Fatima, alayhi salam, as a distinguished woman, played a key role in the life of Prophet Muhammad and Imam Ali as a daughter and wife. As the Prophet ﷺ say about the Lady Fatima as a role model to all women, Fatima is the best of all women of the world, Sayyidat Nisa al-Alam, and a role model for all women. Next slide, please. Islamic law, Iran, and women's rights. Official religion of Iran, as you know, is the doctrine followed by 12 Shiism. The Constitution of the Islamic Republic of Iran is based on the Islamic principles and norms. So Iranian women in this society, based on the rights that Islam gives to them, they're playing a crucial role in different aspects, social, political, cultural, charities, etc. Higher education of women is one of the important investments of Iran in the country. With acceptance of a wide range of key responsibilities in the heart of the family and society, Iranian women play a pivotal role in the development of the country. Let me share the significant achievements of Iranian women. Please go through the slides. Next slide. In terms of Iranian women in medicine, Iranian women are serving as half of the medical staff. Next slide. Women making up 40% of all specialty physicians and 30% of all subspecialty physicians. Next slide. Next. Iranian women occupy over 34% of the faculty members in medical sciences. Next. 98% of gynecologists in the country are women. Next. For example, Dr. Sohaila Sami, a neurosurgeon, has performed 800 operations so far and turned into one of the most professional surgeons in her life across the world, not just in Iran. Next, Iranian women presence in the science. Over 130 Iranian women are among the world's top 1% most cited researchers. Next. 24% national labs are directed by women, which is growing every day. Thank you. Professor Maryam Mirzakhani, next, was an Iranian mathematician who became the first woman and the first Iranian to be awarded a Fields Medal. Next. The presence of women in sports. Could you please extend it to sorry. As an Iranian, I haven't. Thank you. Women have won 3,302 medals at recent international sports events, which is growing every day. Please, at the end, you can. Thank you so much. 70 women are working as chair of the board directors at provincial levels. 88,366 women working as referees in national and international sport events. Next. Next. Iranian women are possessing 97 international seats in sports federations worldwide. Next. The presence of Iranian women in industry, which is growing every day. Women's employment share in industrial sector is 45.5%. Next. Approximately 900 women are manager directors of knowledge-based companies. Next. Increase in women's access to education in 784 technical and engineering fields. Next. Increased women participation in information technology by 31.5%. Next. Iranian women compose 24% of the inventors nationwide. And it is worth mentioning that, now these data are from the late 22. It means that it is increasing every year. I don't have updates from the 2023. And Iranian women in education. Women compose over 56% of university students nationwide, which is increasing every day. And maybe we should do something for men in this case. And 60% of teachers nationwide. Oh, in politics, that I am in as well. I didn't tell you, it's my honor to working for the Embassy of the Islamic Republic of Iran and as a temporary diplomat here on Saudi. So, so, Iranian women in politics. A woman is vice president for women and family affairs. A woman is minister of roads and urban development. We have first female government spokesperson. A woman is vice president and head of Iran's Department of Environment. And now 14 women occupy the seats of parliament. This data is up to date. Thank you. And also in voluntary aids, we have women in different type of NGOs. As you can see, there is no limitation for them. Oh, well, next slide. Yes, thank you. The number of women firefighters in Iran is increasing. They work 24-hour shift along with their male colleagues, which is wow. And Iranian women in various professions, occupations. The number of female pilots are serving in Iranian airlines is increasing. Next. And in art. And I think I am conscious of time, and I have 1 more minute, so I am going slide by slide. Next slide.